Welcome back to the shop. This is Jacob with the Wood Plank. Today I'm working on a walnut and hard maple EndGrain cutting board. Eight-quarter hard maple puts up a fight every time. This is an original design that I've done in various ways using different types of wood. But there's something about walnut and maple that just go so well together. So for the design of this board, the primary section is going to be walnut. And on the right hand side, I've cut some random strips and I'm just going to mix and match those. I intentionally left the last piece on the right hand side as walnut. It's a small little design element that I'll share more on later in the video. This is my flattening jig setup. I use a Milwaukee 3 horsepower router and with a Mega Dado Infinity Tools bit. This jig I made from some leftover Koa hardwood flooring that was repurposed, and the key to these jigs is that they are very flat and they do not flex. And this one I made for larger boards, and it's made out of ash. And if you were to build one of these, I would say just make sure that you use a hardwood or something that has no flex, because if there is any kind of movement in the middle, it'll transfer to the board. After everything was sanded and flattened, I cross-cut these strips at just over 2 inches. So the way this board originally came to be was after I finished cross-cutting all these pieces and laid out the board, I just didn't like the way this looked. So I ended up taking half the board over to the bandsaw and splitting them in half. For me, this design is a little more aesthetically pleasing. It's amazing how something so subtle can make such a big difference. Since one section's a little thinner than the other, I separated these into 2 groups to make the glue up go a little smoother. It pays to spend a little extra time before each glue up to make sure all your pieces are facing the right direction. It's one of the reasons why I also like to number everything. That way, when it comes time for the glue up, it's a nice smooth process. I've designed this board a few different ways in the past. And with this particular board, I wanted to leave the walnut on the left and right side. This somewhat builds a natural border. You could even add a couple of solid walnut strips to the ends of this board and totally frame it out, which is also a great look. Or a variation of this would be to leave the walnut off completely and let the maple carry over to the edge. There are many steps to making an EndGrain cutting board, from creating the initial design to wood selection, sometimes multiple glue-ups, clamping, sanding, and more sanding. But something I've realized is through all of this, you're slowly honing your skills. And what might seem like a mundane task is really building your woodworking foundation. It's amazing how many techniques and tools are involved in making an EndGrain cutting board. At the end of the process, you've not only grown your skill set, but created your own masterpiece that can be used on a daily basis and enjoyed for years to come. So, if you've been thinking about building one of these, I'd encourage you to give one a try. There's no time like the present. A helpful way to prevent any tear out when you're adding a profile to your board is to knock down the corner first and then work your way up the side. I made this little corner jig to help mark the location of where my cutting board feet are going to go. This is a universal jig and works on any size board. I've experimented with a variety of different cutting board feet, and this particular one I've been the most pleased with. It's a medium hardness that's very durable. I'll leave a link in the description below. I love the fact that there's no stains or dyes involved in the process. Just the natural, beautiful color of the hardwoods. I hope you found this video helpful. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, take care from the wood plank.